This week, a massive earthquake, China's spy balloon, Beyonce's Grammy, and Taiwan's naughty parrot.
Over here! Hey, listen up! Newsy!
Newsy Paloozy! Hello and welcome to Newsy Paloozy, your whirlpool of news and information. I'm Leela.
And I'm Lindy.
And what a packed week it is. A massive earthquake rocks Turkey and Syria. We'll explain why it was so powerful and deadly. Plus, we'll unravel the story behind the mysterious Chinese balloon that flew across America before it was finally shot down. Also, Beyonce becomes the queen of Grammys, bagging the most awards in Grammys history. And a pet owner in Taiwan is having to pay a hefty price for a very naughty bird. All right then, let's dive on in. First up, it's
the big news story
of the week.
In the country called Turkey and its neighbor Syria, an awful earthquake struck, toppling hundreds of buildings and killing already around 8,000 people.
Yikes, that's a huge amount of people.
I know.
This one was a magnitude, or strength, of 7.8, which is a huge one.
Right, and while we used to use something called the Richter scale, earthquakes are now measured on a scale called the moment magnitude scale, based on its seismic or vibrating moment.
And if it's small, like 2.5 on the scale, it's just a tremor, which can only be felt by scientific instruments, right?
That's right. But quakes of up to 5 on the moment magnitude scale are felt and can cause minor damage.
So 7.8 is massive.
Totally. And what made it even more powerful and so more deadly was the fact that it wasn't a deep quake way down below the earth, but quite a shallow one closer to the surface.
Meaning closer to humanity, so more buildings and people were closer to its impact.
More or less. And because it also happened in a very populated area, it's been even more devastating. Rescuers are working around the clock to try and pull people out of the rubble.
On top of that were all the aftershocks, over 60.
And there was one aftershock that was 7.5 magnitude, almost as big as the original earthquake, and not far from that epicenter either. You know what an epicenter is, right?
Yeah, the center of the quake.
Kinda. Epi is a prefix, a few little letters at the start of some words, meaning above. So it's the location directly above where the quake starts.
Gotcha. Well, here's hoping the rescue workers can save lots of people buried beneath the rubble.
Absolutely. Now, for days, people in the northwest of America, particularly over the state of Montana, were looking up into the sky and seeing something new, something big and round and white, and thinking,
is it a new planet? Another moon?
Alas, it was neither. It was a balloon.
But no ordinary balloon, though. Well, this wasn't a blimp. It was massive.
The size of 3 school buses, in fact, complete with solar panels attached to it and surveillance equipment. And while China said, oops, that was just a weather balloon that went off course, the Pentagon...
That's the 5-sided building in D.C. that houses the U.S. Department of Defense. In case you didn't know.
Thank you. The Pentagon said it was sent over America from Alaska to spy on sensitive military sites, perhaps even the storage area of some nuclear missiles in Montana.
So why didn't they just, shoot it down?
Well, even though it's not right for another country to send a flying object unannounced over another country's sovereign airspace.
And sovereign means?
To possess or hold power. So a country has power or control over its own airspace. In other words, the air above its own land.
Gotcha. So China was kind of invading the U.S. then?
Well, its equipment was, I suppose, though China says it was an accident. The U.S. Defense Department isn't buying it, but they were worried shooting the balloon down could hurt people on the ground with, debris flying all around and everything.
Ah, that's why they waited till it was off the coast of South Carolina.
That's right.
But that's like all the way across America on the East Coast.
Exactly. So a lot of people are mad President Biden didn't order it to be shot down before, though 3 other such Chinese balloons are now believed to have made it into the U.S. airspace during the Trump presidency.
Really?
Well, at the time, they had gone undetected, as in they said no one knew about them then.
Uh-oh, the plot thickens. Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, it does. And now all eyes are on the recovery team that's trying to fish out the fallen debris to see if they can learn anything about the Chinese balloon and the technology they used.
What's that? I'll tell you what. That's the halftime bell, which means it's time to hear what's making news around the rest of the world. Hold on tight. It's
Around the World in 80 Seconds.
Hold tight.
In the U.S., President Joe Biden gave his annual State of the Union address, calling on Republicans to help, quote, finish the job of delivering for hardworking Americans. He also stressed the importance of bridging the vast divide between his Democrats and Republicans. In the state of New Hampshire, the coldest ever wind chill is recorded in Mount Washington. While the actual temperature is minus 45 degrees Fahrenheit, crazy winds, we're talking 97 miles per hour, mean the wind chill is minus 108 Fahrenheit. That's minus 78 degrees Celsius. In space news, move over Saturn. Jupiter is now officially the planet with the most moons in our solar system, as 12 new moons are confirmed, bringing Jupiter's total to 92, surpassing Saturn's 83 moons. And you won't believe what was found in a Roman sewer, a statue depicting a slain or killed Roman emperor from around 250 AD, dressed as none other than the mythological god Hercules, which is interesting, coming a quarter of a millennia after the birth of Christ.
Well, thank you so much for that. Wait for it. That whippity boppity zippity zapper. Oh, it's my
I don't think anybody can understand that. She said that whippity wappity zippity zappity rap of what's making headlines elsewhere in the world, Mama. Well, I think that's what you said.
Yes. So, and now you're supposed to say...
Anytime, Leela.
Now it's the ACE part of our podcast. That stands for Art, Culture, and Entertainment.
Darling. The biggest music awards show on earth took place in Los Angeles, California, with Grammy Awards going to some old-timers like rocker Ozzy Osbourne and country western star Willie Nelson.
Who the heck are they?
Okay, before your time.
But it wasn't just about the oldies. Oh no. Beyonce, one of the biggest pop stars in the world, made history at the Grammys, as our entertainment correspondent Mirabelle Power of the Book Power for Kids podcast is about to tell us.
It was all glitz and glamour and some crazy outfits at the 65th Grammy Music Awards. I mean, have a look at the photos, folks. The red carpet was sizzling. Yes, Harry Styles was in a sequin jumpsuit again. As for the musical talent, well, Beyonce became the artist winning the most awards ever in Grammy history. We're talking 32 trophies. Wow. And while she won Best Dance and Electronic Album for Renaissance, she did not take home the big prize of the night, Best Overall Album, which went to Harry Styles. Guess that sequin outfit worked. In fact, this is the 4th time Beyonce has been overlooked in that category, making some wonder if her music is just too edgy for the Grammys. In the US, I'm Mira Power, reporting for Newsy Paloozies.
Why, thank you so much for that report, Mirabelle.
And by the way, the first batch of tickets for Beyonce's North American leg of her world tour went on sale to huge demand.
Let's hope she has more luck than Taylor Swift did, selling her tickets swiftly.
And finally, let's go over to the Lucky Dip machine and see what final story it spits out for us this week.
Step right up.
Have a go at the Lucky Dip machine.
The Lucky Dip machine.
What's it going to be today, eh?
An oddball, no doubt.
An oddball, no doubt.
Well, this is definitely a tale you do not hear every day. A pet owner paying the price for loving his parrot and, well, letting his caged bird fly.
Come again?
Well, for this story, we need to go to our Taiwan correspondent, Yuqing Liu.
Take it away, Yuqing.
Taiwan is a pet-crazy nation. We love our pets here. Dogs, cats, rabbits, birds, you name it. Well, this story is about an owner of macaw parrots. You know, the large, really colorful parrots that are native to North and South America and often seen in movies about pirates. Well, a few months ago, the owner decided to take his birds for a walk, as you do. Okay, he went on a walk and let the birds loose to fly around, when all of a sudden, one of the macaws landed on the back of the doctor, who was out for a jog. The bird kept flapping its wings, which naturally startled the doctor, who fell badly. He fell so badly he dislocated his hip joint and fractured his pelvis. Ouch! The doctor was in hospital for a week and unable to work for over 6 months. So the doctor took the pet lover to court. It did not go well for the macaw man. He was given a 2-month prison sentence and fined over 3 million new Taiwan dollars. That's nearly 100,000 US dollars. Needless to say, he's appealing the court's decision, arguing that macaws are not aggressive and that the compensation is too high. The fate of his naughty parrot, however, is not known. In Taipei, I'm Yuqing Liu reporting for Newsy Paloozy.
That was great, Yuqing. Well, you know what they say if you have a parrot, it says a lot about you.
And it's time to wrap up the podcast with
The top 5 facts heard today.
Fab Fact number 1. The U.S. Department of Defense shot down what it's calling a Chinese spy balloon. What is the name of the headquarters for the Department of Defense in D.C.? The Pentagon. Fab Fact number 2.
The U.S. is angry the Chinese balloon flew over its sovereign airspace. What does sovereign mean? To possess or hold power.
Fab Fact number 3. A massive 7.8 magnitude earthquake rocked Syria and Turkey, killing over 5,000 people. What is the name of the scale used to determine the strength of a quake? Moment magnitude scale. Fab Fact number 4.
This is usually measured at the epicenter of an earthquake. What does the prefix epi mean? Above.
Fab Fact number 5. A Taiwanese man is given a 2-month prison sentence and fined almost $100,000 after his macaw parrot injured someone when it was let free. Where are macaw parrots native to? North and South America. And You know what I'm going to say. Don't forget, if you want to test yourself later on, then go to the Lucky Dip blog page of our website, newsypooloozy.com. That's pooloozy as in a swimming pool, obviously. Pooloozi. And take this quiz online in your own time.
I'll repeat that for you. Meow, 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 meow.
That's a variation on Leela Robot.
It's Meowbot. And just like that, we're at the end of this episode of Newsy Paloozy, the news pod for kids. But yup, we have to say a big thank you to those leaving us awesome reviews.
This one is from Michael Alcontor, who wrote,
I like listening to the news, especially during the night. The news is funny, but also serious.
Thank you, Michael. I think you hit the nail on the head. As the saying goes, this week is a case in point.
There was definitely some serious news.
But we made sure to bring you some funny stuff too.
So what are you waiting for? If you enjoyed this dip in the whirlpool of news and information, then do leave us a review too, on whatever platform you listen to this podcast on.
We promise to read it out loud if you do.
Alrighty then, it's over and out from your news crew. We'll catch you next week in the happy, splashy, giant Newsy Paloozy.